Hello and welcome to The Last Standee, a board gaming podcast brought to you from 3 exciting countries across Europe. I'm Alessio, your host today, and I'm joined not here by Audrey.
Hi everyone!
And Alexis.
Hi everyone, and this time from Sweden.
Oh, wow. That's weird. I didn't know. Okay, great. So, the walk in the woods from before was in Sweden.
Yes.
Extra cool.
Yes.
So it's kind of cold there.
Oh, I mean, it's getting warmer. I think that yesterday it was like 9 degrees, and surprisingly, that felt pretty great.
Everyone is short-sleeved here. So, and I'm absolutely pale, but that's my complexion. Yeah. Anyway, we'll talk about a lot of stuff, but since we are here and it's the episode 111 with AAA team. So that's great. Of course, we did that on purpose.
Of course.
And
Always.
it's time for our Standee Catch-up. I would have begin with Alexis, but actually I'm too curious. So what's up, Audrey?
All right, the teas have to end at some point. So what's up? Work is again being close to horrendous. I'm supposed to change jobs, but like in the same company, switching functions. I just hope it goes fast because current things, let's say, are exhausting mentally and stakes and short deadlines, which is not something I strive. It's not the kind of situation I enjoy. So I decided to reward myself for holding on for the change of functions, and I actually invested in some Warhammer Snake Ladies.
Oh.
And
those are nice.
Yeah, so that's
Scafbond Coven.
yeah,
Ooh.
the Skateboard Coven for the Daughters of Cain.
I'm looking forward to see you paint those.
yeah, but that's not the only box. Because yeah, they did a pretty big, let's say, release of Daughter of Cain's and some, let's say, nice box sets like terrain. I love terrain.
Nice.
Yeah, so, some nice box sets where you have quite a bunch of them.
Daughters of Cain.
Yeah, it's all Daughters of Cain. I mean,
Nice.
witchy, sexy dominatrix
I see witch
ladies.
elves.
Yeah, that's my jam. And so this box that I'm holding is the new Spearhead. Basically, Spearhead is a format of Age of Sigmar. It's a format like you buy this box. The rules are free online, like the rules of the base things, and also all the army stats, units, etc. You need to buy the boards and some event-like cards. It's a box of 60 euros, something like that. Each player gets their Spearhead box, and that's it. So my husband got Ghosts.
Yeah?
Yes.
And so you can play at home.
Yes, exactly. It also exists with rules to play 2 against 2, which maybe I will find out someday. So yeah, I'm not sure it's fully reasonable with all my backlog, but I hadn't built Warhammer models for, I don't know, maybe 4-5 years, and the ones that I bought so far, the Snake Ladies, they are very good to glue. Like, the themes are amazing. Everything fits very well, so I'm having fun.
All right. Well, that is great.
So yeah,
That's why we do that. I see you have your paint station still there, so whatever. I think, yeah, I don't know if I can do that with one hand, but there is the column with the stuff. There is a Dragon King unpainted next to Sunstalker that's painted behind me. If you look on top of there is a lot to unbox and uncover and play. So I can understand. You are in for the next 2 years, I think. Or if you are me, for the next forever. Whatever.
yes, most likely. And for role-playing games, with my husband at the club, we started a short Vampire Masquerade campaign. So we have a nice group who's going to be like faction free. With a Malkavian, that's me, lost in time. We have a Ravnos, a Ekata, and Banu Hakim. So that's going to be fun, I think.
I jumped to the conclusion that in Vampire the Masquerade, actually there is a lot of vampire happening in Milan because the White Wolf struck a deal with publishing with the table team, the ones who make the interactive tables. So they are doing a lot of campaigns based in Milan, in Sicily, and whatever. So I jumped to the conclusion that, and I sleep and call it vampiri sometimes. That's the Italian name, vampire. But with the Masquerade, I jumped to the conclusion that La Sombra were right all the time. I mean, Diablerie is the way.
we are playing in Chicago because there is the book of the campaign
Yeah, of course.
setup. Yep. So
That is a nice setup, yeah.
yep. So I think that's all for me. Yes, we just had a package, which is why I shooed my husband away to not show things because there is more Warhammer in it. Including his ghosties, and there was a vampire book in it. So I think we are not full, but very close to the full collection. This new book is about cult, something gods of blood or something like that. So that's it.
Warhammer comes in box of thousands. So yeah.
Yeah. And you, Alessio?
Oh well, about me. I have been in a lot of stuff. I think I received well. Work has been stressful, of course, but this is the word state. I think stressful is the right word to describe it, probably. So I cannot really complain. The thing is, I have been playing quite a bit. I have my neighbor who went into tabletop games, so is kind of a Knizia fan. So we are playing out a lot of old classics, and that's heartwarming, of course. And for myself, I went into the Tin Mint games, which is a thing I will describe today because since I invested money and I have a few of the little guys, I think it's worth talking about them because it's a phenomenon I couldn't even begin to describe, and I will try. Anyway, that's mostly it. I am about to receive the Kickstarter fulfillment for Twisted Realm campaigns, which is Tag of Roar, Thieves of Eldris, and another game. They made 3 Kickstarters based of 3 games about 1 year ago. The campaign went smooth, they funded, the games were interesting, they games around one mechanic, possibly, hopefully done well. I'm happy when I complete a campaign, the campaign delivers more or less on time, and I don't get 1000 updates about it. So I'm happy about this campaign. Hopefully the game will be good. If they will, of course, you will hear about them in this podcast. So this is mostly it, I think, for me. What about you, Alexis? Why are you in Sweden?
I am currently visiting a bunch of friends in Sweden and having a grand time, except that we all got sick, but we got sick one after the other. Every day, someone different in our group fell sick in a different kind of sickness. So we were all out of it for the most of the time, but it has still been incredibly I've still enjoyed myself so fucking much. We went yesterday up to the mountains into a grillstuga, which is like a little outside hut that is free to go to, and we cooked some s'mores and some burgers and just had a grand time hiking in the wood at night. We enjoyed ourselves tremendously, and I am so very happy to be here.
Yeah, so you went
Yeah.
in the mountain range in the woods with sick people.
Exactly.
That sounds like a purge.
I mean,
and a
it
pure
was a little
Asian.
bit of a purge, but we had a great time. I've also been playing a couple of board games recently with them, which I'll talk about later. One of them that I'm just going to quickly mention is Battleship. I don't know if you ever heard of that one.
No.
It is a very I'll explain it in like 2 minutes. So it is a very simple board controlling game where you create a board with the other players for with 4 tile per player, and each player has 16 sheep. Whenever they move, they can only move in hexagonal directions. They need to move all the way to the end of the line that they can go through. They can't stop beforehand, and they can move as many sheep from their pile as they want at a time. And the goal is to spread your sheep as much as possible while the other players try to block you. And so the game is incredibly simple. It can be played by a child very easily to understand the mechanics, but there's a little bit of strategy in the way that you're going to place the board beforehand, because players build the board at the start, and in exactly how many sheep you're going to move, and trying not to block yourself, and trying to spread your sheep as much as possible. And it is a very fun little control game. Really quick, fun game to start a night, get the energy rolling. Recommendation on my part.
Just to make sure I understood well, is it about sheeps or about sheeps?
Sheeps.
Meh.
Bah.
Amazing.
Okay, because it was beginning to sound like Battleship, like
Yes.
D5 hit.
Well,
yeah.
Well, it does. It is a war. You are moving sheeps, but you will make enemies of your friend. Blocking someone and like ruining their entire game because you made the right move is absolutely a horrible feeling. But in between friends,
So
it is
you
fun.
you are herding sheeps, not navigating ships.
Yes,
That's-
I am navigating sheeps. Bah.
That sounds like a game that would deserve a full Wallace and Gromit, like Sean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Skill.
we could go over for 10 minutes at least. So
And I also played a bunch of Morkborg because I finally finished writing a little module that I've been writing for quite some time on and off. Finally finished with that. Ran it for my friends, and it was a grand experience. So we really enjoyed ourselves, and I'll maybe talk about this when I actually finish all of the mise en page and get the thing ready to publish. But that will be hopefully not for too long in the future. And that's about it for me. All right.
And,
Which
yeah.
game are we going to start with?
yeah, actually we didn't have prepared. I was just saying that I wanted to talk about triangle agency sometimes because that's cool. But anyway,
Yes. Really enjoyed Triangle Agency.
Yeah.
Did you got it on my recommendation then?
Yeah, I don't
believe
know who
it-
recommended it to me. Yeah, anyway,
I believe I
yes.
talked about it in the podcast.
Yeah, because I had it. You know, I am an old man, so I have on my cell phone a Google Note with a checklist of stuff I need to check out. Eventually, I came up to this and that. So it's really
Okay.
possible that I got it on recommendation. Yes.
We'll talk about it some other time, but how are you
Yeah,
enjoying it so far?
definitely. And it's something to talk about because it's so cool. Anyway, yeah, we didn't actually decide the topic order, so we can have volunteers anyway. We will be. I won't spoil anything. So
I'm
you
very happy
offer
to
to
start.
volunteer?
I'm ready if you
Yeah.
want. Or I think Alexis was also ready to volunteer.
Oh no!
We're
no,
going to
no,
fight!
Don't
Let's
make
fight!
don't make this to me. Let's go in alphabetical order, Alexis. Okay. Let's start with Alexis and Ascension. Please go.
Alright.
This one is going to be an easy one. So Ascension is a deck building game from 2010, published by Stoneblade Entertainment. It is, as I said, a deck building game, and it is an incredibly simple one. If you've played Star Realms or similar games like this, it's very similar, and I would say probably even simpler. Unfortunately, the one caveat that I will put is that there are, I think, 6 editions of the game that came out. I think about like 70 different expansions, and I mostly played with the version that my friend have, and I'm not certain exactly of all of the content that is in. So whatever I'm going to tell you, it's for the version that I had, and if you buy the newest, most recent version, it might have different stuff in it, but the game stays more or less the same. So um, it is a game where you need to collect 30 honor points, which are just victory points. And the way that the game works is extremely simple. So during your turn, you're going to draw 5 cards, and you're going to play all of them. There's no restriction on the cards that you play from your hand. And those cards are going to give you either runes that allow you to buy stuff from the shop, attack that allow you to kill monsters, energy, which basically allow you to activate certain abilities. You just need to have enough during a turn to activate it, while the other are currencies that you spend. And each card will probably have an ability that will trigger something, maybe allow you to banish a card or to destroy a construct from another player, stuff that I'll explain in a minute. They might have a bunch of effects, and the idea is that you want to build your deck to have the best effects whenever you draw your cards, play your cards, have as much power in possible during your turn so that you can buy stuff, kill stuff, move stuff around, discard, draw 5 more cards, next player plays, and the game continues like this. At the center of the board, you have a shop in which you have an upgraded version of the base card. So for example, in your base hand, you're going to have a card that will give you 1 rune, and you have like a version that costs a little bit that gives you 2 runes. So if there's nothing good in the shop, you can always get some stuff that makes your deck a little bit better. And you have also the shop, which has differently. So heroes, which are cards that you just play, they have an effect and then you discard them. They're over normal cards to play. You have constructs, which you play, put them on your board, and they stay on your board until they are destroyed, either by an effect from another player's card, or from a monster that they is defeated, or from any other reason. But unless specified, they'll stay on your board, and they have like a passive effect that affects you every turn. Some of them will allow you to gain runes automatically. Some of them, if you have enough energy, will do a special effect. It's usually useful to have a construct, and they are going to be what allows you to build your engine for the game to function. Then you have monsters, which have combat value. If you have enough combat value, you spend it on that monster, you kill it, and you gain honor, and sometimes the monster will also have a little effect. And you have also, in the version that I played with, because I know that's part of an expansion, treasures, which when you draw treasures, you keep drawing cards until you draw something that isn't a treasure. You put whatever isn't a treasure on top of it, and when you buy that thing, you get the treasure alongside with. And the treasure are basically like a gain 1 energy, draw 1 card. So they allow you to shuffle through your deck a little bit faster. The game is extremely simple then, because at every turn you're just going to drop your hands, do whatever you can with the resources that you have that turn, and then pass to the next player. And the goal is really going to be trying to plan how you're going to upgrade your deck over time, how you're going to move things around. There isn't as many banishing cards as there are in other deck building games. It is a bit harder to actually thin your deck, so the cards that you're going to pick, you need to be a bit careful with. It is a good idea at the start to get like a lot of the cheap, slightly better cards, because they allow you to buy more stuff at the shop and start your things a little bit faster. But in the later part of the game, they might hinder you because they're not that good compared to whatever you can buy. Um, it's super fun, super interesting. I think that a game takes about 30 minutes. It will depend on the amount of player that you have, obviously. With like 4 players, lasted about 45 minutes in our first session. And yeah, by the end of the week, now in half an hour, we are done with it. It's very fun, very fast, very simple. If you like deck building games, I would recommend Ascension. I think it is a pretty fun little experience.
Yeah,
Audrey, you played it.
yeah, with my husband. I don't remember when that was, but I think that was a summer, almost 2 years ago, at a friend's. We do not own Ascension, and so we played, I think, only one game. And as we already played quite a bit of Aeon's End, everything felt familiar. We had no like, oh, how do the rules work? How does everything go? Blah blah. But yeah, it did feel a bit more simpler on the monsters fighting aspect, due to, of course, it being a slightly older game. But yeah, it felt very instinctive, and I have nothing to say beyond, yeah, for us it felt a little bit lackluster, but due to the experience that we have with more modern games, where there is all that interaction with the monster, and in that case it's more like against the other players and getting more points. Uh, but yeah, it's a deck building game. I think it's one of the first deck building games.
I believe so. It's yeah, it was 4 years before Star Realms. It's very early in the genre, and I will say that yes, it is a simple game. It is if you like deck building games and want a simple mechanic that you can show to friends that are first trying the genre, or if you want to get into it, or if you just want like a game that you can play through pretty quickly. It's a fun one. If you want something more complicated with more fun, there are more modern options that do a lot more interesting stuff. That is true. The game has that little, and I will also say that the expansions add a bit more depth, but also a lot more bloat. We had a pile of sleeved cards that were like all part of the expansion that was extremely tall, and so we had to take like little parts of the deck to refill the shop whenever. But it created a bunch of variation, and some of the cards are fun. So
Yeah,
yeah,
we played only with the core game. I mean, it's a small box, so you feel like you get through it quite fast.
yeah,
But I think today it's a very good my first deck building box.
yeah.
It's either that, in my opinion, for physical board games, it's either that or Slave Aspire, because you have the cooperative aspect, and it's a little bit less difficult than Aeon's End.
Yeah.
So
Aeon's
yeah,
End, Aeon's End is great, but it is a lot more complex
yeah.
than other game. Uh, Alessio, I know that you've not played it, but do you have any deck building game recommendation?
Oh yeah, actually, I wanted to reverse this because since I didn't play it, I want you to sell me
Yeah,
this game. So let's do a few comparisons. If you try the games, you already answered for you and Send. It's less complex. So I will play. I would like to play the tower game with you guys. So meaning that. What's the game you keep and what's the game you leave? If I say compare Ascension to Ion's End.
Aeon's End, no questions.
Ion's
yeah.
End. Yeah, you are the fan, of course.
I I think it would be Iron's End, but they are for very different
For very different reasons,
playtime
yes.
and people.
Yeah, it will last for probably more. So
Yeah,
that answers one question. The other concurrent I can see, because that's the deck building. Actually, of course, the deck building game I play the most is Dominion, but I don't think it really compares. And also, it's older. So instead of Dominion, the one deck building game I played a lot is Clank. in all versions. Let's put
Ooh.
aside the Clank Legacy. Base Clank versus Ascension. What's best? What would you like to play more? Now.
I didn't like Clank, so that's easy for me.
Okay,
I
that's one.
I think it would be if we're talking about base Clank, I would go with Ascension. I think that Clank Legacy is like a little bit more interesting because it adds more flourish to the game. But base Clank, I think that Ascension managed to have like just the simplicity of you play your card. It is I like in a deck building game when everyone's engine is starting to get running and people are getting into their game. I like that moment where turns start to take maybe 20 seconds. People just like drop their card. I do this, and this. Next player. I think that's just very fun because it feels like the game is flowing.
You're doing something.
And
yeah.
Yeah, and in Clank, I've more fun at players like during their turn, getting stuck a little bit, reading cards, checking what they're doing, and like trying to think about what they're going to do. And sometimes the game gets a little bit clanky.
No, yeah, you are perfectly right, and that's actually my impression. I can say I like all the Clanks, but I stayed with Clank Legacy, the first one, because it was fun. It was fun actually to read about Acquisition Incorporated. The second one dragged a bit, the second Legacy. And of the base Clank, I think I loved Clank in Space, but didn't like a lot base Clank. And I think that is because you need to understand Clank, meaning that it is one of those unfortunate games that doesn't really ring with you until you made 5 or 6 games with the right people. And until you get the right game, a game done right, you don't like Clank.
Maybe
And
that's my
for me
problem.
too.
Maybe that's my problem.
Yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely okay, and that's what I feel. So I think that Ascension is best. I think I didn't play, so I think that you could like it best easily. Then I don't think I'm looking at my collection if I have any big deck building. There is one.
I have a yeah.
There is one I would like to compare, but I don't think you played it. El Dorado from Rainer Krizia.
I have not played El Dorado,
Oh,
but I was
that's my
going to add,
favorite deck building.
well, I'll have to give it a try then. I'll have to add another comparison. Star Realms.
Yeah, Star Realms. You mentioned that, yes.
Yeah.
And Fantasy Realms and the Realms.
Yeah, I think that they are extremely similar, and the only thing that would make me choose one over the other is that Star Realms is a lot more confrontational. You're going to attack other players. It's going to be a lot more directly one against the other, while Ascension, there are some interaction between players. You can like destroy other players' construct. You can shift the shop a little bit so that they don't have the access to the options that you don't want them to access. You can do some stuff like that, but there's going to be a lot less confrontation directly, which it's going to be a question of mood. But I think that in terms of how they feel and how they play, they are very close. In that regard, so it would be, depending on kind of your mood on there. I will also say one thing that Ascension has that Star Realm doesn't is that Ascension is for between 1 and 4 players. I forgot to mention that, which makes it a little bit nicer if you want to play with a group. And as I said, turns go very quickly, so even with 4 players, it is still a pretty fast game. And next to that, I know that one of the expansion allow you to play with up to 6 players, but we haven't had 6 players, so I don't know how that works.
I played a lot of Star Realms in the app, and actually I want to give Ascension a try. So third edition, right, is the current one? Is it?
Third edition is the current one. I will also say that Fan mentioned, I've not tried it, but Fan said that it was that there's a very high quality port on Steam.
I was searching for it, but I don't see it. I'm googling Ascension. I get everything, including a port game, but not Ascension with the same font and game here. So I don't know.
Well, I will have to ask Fan and check. because I just believed them without checking.
No, probably
Usually,
that's right, but it's not called directly Ascension, or I don't recognize the font or whatever, because there's a lot of Ascension, but not.
Boom, boom, boom. And there is also one on the App Store I can see.
Oh,
Now, apparently,
Store,
yeah, there's a digital game on Steam. I will look upon
if
that.
you look for Ascension deck building game on Steam, you find it.
Oh,
they
that
have
is
like
a
the
thing I didn't
full
try.
game, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah. So apparently the Steam version is very fine, and the AI plays well.
And it's €10.
And it's
I mean,
yeah, that's pretty cheap. I will say though, given how fast the game is, and how I also played Star Realms, I think it's probably more interesting as a phone game because it can be played pretty fast, and getting
while
into
commuting.
is quite fun. Yeah, exactly.
Because if you say while in the bathroom, of course, that evokes the wrong image. Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that is Ascension. Pretty fun game from 2010.
Okay, moving on.
All right.
Thank you, Alexis.
With pleasure.
And completely on cue, since we were mentioning legacy games, I think it's time for Audrey to talk about her game, which is
Cozy Stickerville. It might be called Cozy Sticker City, Cozy Sticker anything in your language. I don't know if, or maybe Cozy Stickerville as well. I have no idea. So I'm not going to try to pronounce the name of the creator because that seems like an Eastern Europe name. And I don't want to butcher that. I apologize. And so Cozy Stickerville is a legacy game which hides itself because it's not written legacy, so you don't know. But when you see sticker, sometimes, yeah. So in my opinion,
you should have an idea, yes.
yeah, you should have an idea if you know already about legacy games, because if you don't, that's a perfect my first legacy game. If you have kids who are like, I don't know, 8 to 12 years old, that's the perfect first legacy game for them. So it's sold for 1 to 6 players, but I mean, who cares? It's a cooperative game, so just discuss and decide. It's written exactly a cooperative and cocooning game for 1 to 6 players, and it does deliver on that. So the rulebook,
I'm already kind of sold on the extremely cozy vibes.
yeah, the rulebook is 4 pages. It's like nothing. Basically, the rulebook says every turn you have an event card, then you do an action, then next player. If anything tells you you have a book of stories, that's it. Do things as they are written on the cards. That's as simple as it is. You have a starting setup because you have a board on which you will put all your stickers, and I am currently showing on the camera the board that we ended up with at the end of the first campaign.
Oh.
Because you can play 2 times, the board is reversed, and it has a different setup, so you will not put things at the same place. You have a sticker book with, I don't know, 12 or 13, 12 sticker pages. Some are on transparent background, some are, I don't know, on green background, and you can glue green background stickers only on the grass parts of the board, and there will be grayish ones, which will be on the mountain part of the board. So you have 8 starting stickers. You put them on the board wherever you want. Places doesn't matter. Just put them wherever you want. These will be trees mostly, and they will give you some resource. And then it goes along 10 years, basically telling the story of you arrive in this nice little field.
Landscape.
It's landscape. And you are like, what am I going to do? And so you will start drawing your event cards, doing your action cards, which will lead you to talk with people, because next to the houses, you can have people. I don't know if you're going to see on the camera because they're really tiny, but you get people, and you can add people as well. We have a house here we added a baby because they were pregnant and they had a baby, and so we had like 5 or 6 different baby stickers to pick from.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of babies.
Yeah, but you can only put one. So it's choice. It's choice. And so yeah, you will have some kind of storylines because, for instance, one of the cards tells you, yeah, you have 2 couples who want to settle in your town. One of them is a couple of inventors, and the others, they are teachers. Which one do you want to take? And you take them, you put the sticker of their home with them, and then you will have an action mark next to them. And so when you do the action of that, you will go to the storybook, which will tell you, the teachers, they want to have some, let's say, school supplies. Do you give them or do you not? If you give them, it says, spend 1 gold coin, because you have some resources, basically wood, food, and coin. And then quite later on metal. So spend 1 coin and give them give on the book glue a heart sticker. If you don't, you take a progression sticker instead and put that. And then at the end of all their different interactions that you can do with them, it says if you have more heart stickers, you get this ending bonus, and if you have more progression stickers, you get that. And there is only 1 teacher's sticker. And there is only 1 inventor's sticker. So the first time you play, you will pick. And then the second time you play, you will have to take the other one.
Because you don't have
that's
the sticker
a fun way to do
anymore.
Legacy.
Yeah, and you have, on one of the sticker pages, you have some bars that you glue on the card. Like wooden bars, and you glue it on the option that you take the first one, so that on the second one you already have the reminder that you cannot take this anymore. There was only 1 sticker, you picked it, you can't do it again. So it's a really nice reminder. And so yeah, you go on turn by turn. So generally it's expected that 1 player will read in the book, they want to do this, they want to do that, they ask you for this, what do you do? They give the options, and then the other player chooses, and then the reader says, this is what you get as a reward. To avoid like spoiling yourself and saying, oh, I'm going to pick this option because the rewards are better.
Of course.
There is also fishing. So there is a card which lets you fish, and depending on what you draw, because you have a dice and you roll the dice to fish, depending on what you roll and how many times you do it, you can put hearts on the fishes, and basically it's like filling your how is it called in English? Like your book of all of the fishes that exist, and basically not every storyline, but quite a few of them give you achievements, and the achievements are some are for fun, some interact with other cards. If you take a loan, you will get the loan achievement, and it's a red one, which red ones are not very good. And then sometimes you have a collector who comes, and if you have the loan red achievements, they ask you for money. If you don't, something else happens. So yeah, quite a few interactions. You also have a storage box. It's like card sized, and on each side you have 1 board, the other board, so that allows you to track which campaign you are doing, and you can glue stickers on the year that you last did as a reminder, and you can put the cards, because you keep some of the actions card until you do them. You can put here in the box the cards that you still have and the resources that you have for the next time. So it's pretty cool. So we went to the end of the first campaign. We did the 10 years. I think it took us less than 1 week. We were like, yeah, let's go. And in hours, I think that was 7 to 8 hours. The game is, maybe depending on your game store, between 35 and 40 euros.
That's pretty good for a Legacy game, especially since you have 2 campaigns.
You can play 2 times. That's going to be around 15, 14. The second game is probably going to be a bit faster hours. So in my opinion, it's pretty good. The only problem that we have with it is that things are very tight. Like each sticker has its own storyline, which is basically a single page in the book, but so it's quite tight, and then replaying won't actually get you so much variety. And the ending is basically how many, let's say, thresholds of some elements on the board, resources, achievements did you get? And it comes off as a little bit abrupt when it happens. So the gameplay in itself is very good, like journey before destination. That's there. But we don't want to do it again like soon, because we want to be able to come back with a little bit of a refreshed mind, and not have it feel like a new first time, but not to be like, oh yeah, we remember that we want to do this because then it leads to that, etc.
That's perfectly fine with a legacy game. I think
And
it's the same with everyone.
yeah,
Yeah.
and there is another thing, because at the end of the book you have what happens when you finish your first play, and there is a QR code, and I think you can share your city with others.
That's nice.
I don't know how exactly it works, because it says your city is now ready to host visitors. If you speak English, you can scan the QR code with your phone or visit our website. So
Would you mind showing the board again?
yes, of course. So you have space, and the stickers, they have different shapes. Like for instance, here we have a honey tree. Something got burnt. We had an earth rumbling, but we put a bridge on it. We have a bridge because at first you can only build where you start river. We had a clock tower. We had,
Why the clock tower is out there?
yeah, we had a firehouse, but the person in the firehouse got angry, and then something else happened, and so they left.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah, we had a mine, which gave us an exploration card where we had like mine map and mine map, and we had to like do a little adventure in it.
You got the dungeon.
Meteorite. Here we had a cult as well.
Yeah, that's a pyramid.
You can also make the flag. We ran for mayor, but we lost the election, so we said actually no, we won, and so we were a dictator. So yeah, and we had happiness.
With the cult, everyone is happy.
Yeah,
That's like 2/3 of the happiness.
and that gave us money.
Track. Yeah. Yeah,
I really like that there's a kind of a Stardew Valley-ish look to the game.
There are some references and nods to some games, to some other games. Yeah, like I think it's like you're not going to harvest turnips or something. I think this one is more like Animal Crossing, but there is something else for Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, that looks like a very cozy little game. And yeah, I think that like 7 to 12 hours for even 7 hours that you only play once for a legacy game that is under €50 is a pretty decent deal. I've heard of worse.
Yeah, I think for a family
games.
with several kids, like if you play, let's say, a parent and 2 or 3 kids, that's going to give you a little bit of a longer playtime.
Yeah, and it's probably very fun for the kids to place the stickers.
And I also, I have to mention that I got Cozy Stickerville and Ziggurat at the same time. And I don't know if you know Ziggurat.
You have it, but you haven't started?
Actually, yes, because the kids got... this is a two-sided story. So I didn't actually start it because with the family we play on Wednesday evenings, and when the kids aren't too tired because the morning after they still have to go to school, so we try to be responsible. I have to say that legacy games with stickers are a hit with the families in a biggest way. Ziggurat is another legacy game by Matt Leacock. It just has this big cardboard pyramid in the middle of the table, and this is why the kids chose to start with that. So we'll eventually get to Cozy Stickerville, but I have to say this: go with legacy game with kids because they are exactly perfect for that. I have 12 years old and they 9 years old, and they both love legacy games. If they are simple enough for the 9 years old to be understood, go with them because they are the perfect format for kids. They go to attach sticker, they got to remember place, and they got to forget about them once they're done. So perfect. Absolutely perfect. I think that 30 euros for 7 or 8 evenings of play, they are perfectly matched for price in this time and age.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say. So, Alexis, if you have anything to say, otherwise.
It looks very nice and very cozy, and I think I would have a fun time with it. So, yeah, pretty fun, interesting little game.
Yeah. My husband mentioned as well another thing. It was like for 35 euros you can also get an unlock box, which if you do not take into account any reselling, that's 4.5 hours at most.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good comparison. And an unlock game is technically not a legacy game, but you only play it once.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only advantage with Unlock is you resell them, but they are not a hit with kids like legacy games.
Yeah.
So that's to be accounted for.
They don't have stickers.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Stickers destroy cards with other games and stuff like that. They are always winners with kids. Anyway, I think it's my turn.
yeah.
Okay, I'll be very fast, but I need to do an introduction. So, an introduction is we are all board gamers, so we know all the nook and crannies of the hobby. Of course, we have dabbled with legacy games, we have dabbled with war games, miniature games. I don't know, math games, heavy games, light games, whatever. I never ever incurred into Tin Mint games. They are a current of games, but there are hundreds of them in tin mints, in mint boxes.
Does it
Boxes
smell?
for the mints. Actually, yeah, this is a full game in it.
Does it
And
smell?
no, not at all.
Oh.
This comes with a pan. It's Judgemint of the Realm Wars. So there is an entire culture of this that I didn't figure out when I started searching for them. There are like 3 game found campaigns right now with 8 games each containing all of these games. So first thing is well, they are so many games with this format. They must be of the worst quality possible, which is in some fact true, but not in the selection I brought to you, because these are basically condensed experience of games. If you think of Tiny Epic games, Tiny Epic is a range of games which take a big theme, let's say, and cram a box full of stuff and make you an experience. They are bloated compared to these games. These games are essential to the point. Now, I started with talking with a friend who recommended me because he's in with them. He has kids, so he doesn't have a lot of time to play, and we discuss mostly solo games. Like I recommended a Reliable Wizard, which can be seen the yellow and green and teal boxes on my background. Witchcraft, stuff like this. Unstoppable recently. There's Dungeon Crawler Car campaign. I recommend it for the Unstoppable version if you find the original too hard.
I'm not getting any more game in English. No, that's over.
Okay. Anyway, sorry. Anyway, we got a lot of stuff about. I'm sorry, I completely forgot because there's my mother calling on the phone. So I'll start the concept again. I'll eventually have to take the call, but later. Okay, let's begin again. Teaming games are basically an undercurrent, which I would say the nerds of nerds. Like, I would look down at people like, oh, so you play teaming games? How cute. But actually, there is gold in this, and I think I found, on recommendation, of course, from people way more expert than me, 3 games that completely blasted me. So, I'll do a mistake right now on camera, because I'm on camera. Since I have one hand on the push to talk, I'll use one hand to open this game to show you. And this is a mistake because probably everything will power everywhere.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it going to
So,
spill everywhere?
Well done.
I did it. No. there are like
tiny little cards.
30, 40 small cards, a lot of cubes, and 2 dice on Judgment of the Realm Lords, which is the last game I will play about. I will now talk. Yeah,
I do like tiny little cards. It's always a pleasure to play with tiny little travel cards. I find that fun.
Yeah, that is actually hell. I mean, if you have my fingers, you will always put them on the board, and then cubes will move around, cards will move around, stuff will stick with the grease of your fingers and whatever. So don't eat next to those. But anyway, let's talk about 3 games I loved a lot. Where you can find them. In the US and in the North American bloc, you can find them on the Game Crafter, the hub where all of this madness originated, I am told. So, if you are in the US, you order from the gamecrafter.com and you will have everything I talked about. If you are in Europe, there is a distributor here. It's Wooden Tree Games, based in Germany. So, 3 of these games are the top 3 I ever played. I played basically these 3 on recommendation, so I just forward this recommendation and tell you what I find intriguing about them. The first one is Gamma Guild. Gamma Guild is a game which gives you hand management, let's say, of everything is extremely themed. You have 12 quests to do and a hand of guild members to send to the quests. You have a counter of 12 days to complete all quests, and you have to play your guild members to the quests in order to have them to solve. Every guild member you send gives you a bonus, which gives you a resource, which allows you to complete the quest, which is like a contract. The twist in here is that you can decide limitedly the order of the quest you get, and depending on the order you pick and the order you get to resolve them, every quest makes completing the other quests more difficult. Since the pool of available quests is 24 and you only pick 12 at once, and the other 12 are cards that use as counters that you decrement every day until you reach 0, it means that the game is basically has a lot of variability for being a game with like 30 cards and a counter. Because you complete a quest, you get a completely different difficulty boost for the other quests, and you get to decide the order based on the hand you have. When you have your hand, you reshuffle the hand paying a cost, and you start again. The game is very simple, is immediate to play, plays in 10 minutes, and it's extremely fun. This is the game I played the least. I think this is the only game I can give you just an opinion about that. Because I played it like 4 times today. Like I played the last game this morning. So for me it's completely new, and I can see one defect to the game. Of course, we are always talking about extremely condensed and small games. They don't have a lot of components, so they can only give you so much of repeatability. But in this case, the quests are perfect. They are nailed down and they give you the correct variability. The problem is the guild deck. since you will use always the same deck of end of deck for completing quests, you will see a lot of it, and I can see it getting boring. Of the 3 games I will be talking about, this is the one more at risk of being solvable, meaning that okay, I have this end, these are the quests, I need to do that in this order, and the game will play itself eventually. I am not yet there, but I can see the risk on the horizon, so fair warning. It is also pretty cheap. I think you can have for 25 euros or whatever. So that's it. This is Gamma Guild. The second one is is not my personal favorite, but it is by far the most fun, which is Teen Helm. Teen Helm is it has a cool story. Basically, it's a dungeon crawler, but it's the condensed version of Iron Helm, which is the first success on Game Crafter, which is basically the most successful and recognizable game from Game Crafter. If you know, Game Crafter is a place where you can get your own game designed, actually your own design made with components. They will realize it with rather cheap stuff, and there are quite a lot of successful game in there, and Iron Helm is by far the most recognizable and playable of those. It costs a bit to have it shipped in Europe, so I only played at friends' houses, but it's a cool game. It has this mechanic where you have 2 doors, 2 dungeon doors. One is for the room you saw with symbols, and the other one is covered. You can either grab for not you can take the consequences of the shown door, being sure to not fight, or risk, push your luck, and turn over the unexplored tile and eventually end in a combat. Combat is also a push your luck mechanic, and you have to roll dice and do stuff. I won't delve into detail because that's part of the game. I have to say that Teen Helm condenses this extremely well. It has some notable differences, mostly caused by the limitation of the number of components, but it's beautiful. For instance, you have 4 cards, which are the, let's say, you would have said the races, you now say it's not the species, because you have merfolk. So this is the playing races, let's say. And you have the human, you have the merfolk, you have the gnome, and these are your playable characters. When you pick one, you flip the other 3, meaning that the one you picked is locked, and you have a selection of the 3 classes you are left with, which is rather ingenious. The classes give you a boon and an original equipment, and eventually you get the equipment. The equipment is also 2-sided. Then you have the rooms and so on, and you play with the same flow of Iron Helm, which means that this game has a lot of variability because you flip the cards and they have a completely different effect. You have combat with different creatures. There's the pigmen with which you trade, like with Iron Helm. So there's a lot to do. There's loot. There are loot cards. They are one-sided, so they are the only one thing that when you grab them, they are like this. The only thing that really will waste you, because this game basically makes you want to play more. You finish a run and you go to the other run almost immediately. It has one problem, which is it has been a long time since I played this much with dice, and I hated every second of the randomness. I mean, in this game, you may, excepting gear and your own abilities in Teen Helm, you make damage by rolling 2 dice, and the damage is the difference between the dice, meaning that if you roll doubles, you get no damage. Now, doubles with dice is 1 in 6, is a 1 in 6 chance. It happens all the time. I mean, I was trashed by rats with godlike equipment, so this is a thing that happened in this game. It's okay, because this game makes you want to play more. You can rage, so it's not for the faint of heart, but
Uh,
fun. Yeah.
ju- just a quick question. How long did you say that our run was, basically?
Oh, I'd say that in Helm, once you learn to play, it's 5 to 20 minutes. 20 minutes to be large about them, because your goal is to fetch 3 crystals in the dungeon, so you'll eventually get there. I think 15 minutes is fair. Of course, since you can fail this game has you an option to fail fast. Of course, the real problem is that it's not entirely in your end when you fail, which is a thing I don't like a lot in games. Meaning that, take Unstoppable. If you in Unstoppable you are playing and you understand that you did a suicide upgrade, you will know. And but you have to wait until that upgrade pops up as an enemy to understand, to actually lose. Meaning that you have to play 2 entire turns, 3 entire turns before you get actually to lose, even if that was in sight. You are like running against the precipice. So that's a frustrating feeling, basically. And this game has none of it, because you can lose at any time and you lose immediately. You lose, and you start again. That's perfectly fine to me. I would just have wanted to have it in my hands a bit more. You have energy to mitigate randomness, but energy is if you reroll and keep rerolling doubles, you are done. So that's basically it. You keep taking damages until eventually you lose. But the game is so balanced and so cool that actually it's fine to play more. And this is Teen Helm. I'll have and this brings to me to my favorite, which is Judgment of the Realm Lords, that I hope I put back in the box completely, because it's the most packed. This is a small gem. Why? You open this game and it's amazing how much stuff you have. In Judgment of the Realm Lords, you compose a map. You have towns is this map, you have markets with traders and stuff you buy, and you have random encounters. The random encounters play over multiple rounds, because they have a rock, paper, scissors way of comparing the attacks, meaning that depending on the stance you are in and your opponent is in, you can, for instance, be in fighting stance, which is beating magical stance, but is beaten by ranged stance. And with this rock paper scissors mechanism, you basically solve combat, knowing that when you are at advantage, you roll 1 dice more and pick the highest. When you are at disadvantage, you roll 1 dice more and pick the lowest. When you are matched, you roll 2 dice and take whatever it is. You can activate powers on your gear, and you have 4 level of enemies. And the goal of the game is to travel through the map, buy equipment and get more powerful until you are capable of battling and winning against 3 realm lords, which are the red cubes on the map. When you battle and win against 3 of them, or just against the Death Lord, which is the toughest of them, but you happen to find them by chance, so it never happened to me. It never happened to me to take it on and win, because it happened to me to fight against it. And the game is an entire adventure played in a Tin Mint box, and it's variable enough that I still haven't seen the bottom of it. I played 9 times. In 9 times I won 3 games, so it's challenging enough. It looks like it's almost in your hand. I'll talk about this if I have to find some. There is a lot of variance. The one thing that I'm owed, and I wonder about this game, is that there is an entire full game in in a box this small. There is everything. There is combat, there is trade, there is traveling, there is an open area map. It's really, of course, it's still a very condensed game with just the essential of everything, but it's full. It's complete. There's nothing more. the two defects I can find in this game, I would otherwise say, okay, it's perfect. It's the solo game for you. The games I talked about are all solo games. Is that one, again, randomness. I have never seen this much randomness in a game. In this case, it is a bit more in control because you roll 2 dice to make tests and you add your stats to them, so you know that eventually you have a minimum range you are not to succeed, but the range is always relatively high, so you are always at risk of failing, and this happens. The game is perfect. The stats are good. There is a lot of randomness, and I can say that it is a bit too long because it lasts 1 hour, and for yeah, I mean that's
that is
probably
long
also
for a
me.
team game.
Yeah, I would expect it to be like 40 minutes, 30 minutes, but it's a bit slow, and it's fine because it's great, but when you start to play 1 hour, you expect to have big components and an epic journey. It's no Mage Knight, of course, and I don't expect. Actually, there is a remake of Mage Knight that I need to check out because I miss that game. But it's no Mage Knight, but of course, it's a 1 hour. I mean, can I have bigger components, please? Can I have a map where I don't slide with my fingers everywhere, the cubes? I don't remember where I placed it. So that's it. Really nitpicking, because of course I'm getting old, my eyes are not the one they used to be, so that's probably it. But for a mid game, this is, I think, the comparison game, the seal of excellence about the format. And the coolest thing I have to say about this is that I really was surprised that there was an entire world of board games that I never even thought existed. So I'm grateful that I had to try and check them. I also play quite a lot of solo games. I say that Unreliable Wizard back there was one of my favorite games, which play solo with a full adventure. Judgment of the Realm Lords is better. Okay? Strictly better.
That's a high recommendation.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, one thing to remember, and then I am completely done, is that these are solo game with the solo effect, meaning that I call it the solo effect when you play a game and eventually you understand that you are just playing a mechanic. I think that these are all saved by their EV theme because they are evilly thematic. I think the least thematic of them is Gamma Guild, but the theme is perceived so you give meaning to what you're doing, and it takes a bit of time to understand that there is just a mechanic that you are playing. Eventually, if you're playing solo, in all solo games, you'll understand that you are just playing against a mechanic, and it will happen. There is a count and number of games that you can play with the illusion of playing a game until you understand you are playing the mechanic. And I think these are no exempt. Again, I have like 24 plays or scattered around 3 games, so it's still not that much. But I can see myself 1 year from now still bringing out Judgment of the Realm Lords because there is still some variety. My baby can binge Tin Helm if I don't bring out Iron Helm, but I probably will be fed up with the Gamma Guild. So that's it. Knowing that you are spending 24 euros for a very compact travel-sized game that you can bring around and play on plane, except this one, except Judgment of the Realm Lords, don't play it on plane, you scatter everything around. But besides that, if you know that you are doing this, that's perfectly fine, and that is a high recommendation. I'm happy to have played them. If you are looking for something that 10 years from now you are still bringing up to your kids, that's not what you're looking for. So, knowing this,
I just think it's fun that basically you say, yeah, it's a small game, it's cool, and what's the main disadvantage? It's small.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So, bias beware, because if you're looking for a small game, this is the best. I am I don't know. I always buy sometimes when there's a game, I'll buy it just for the mechanic if it's interesting enough. This is completely interesting. This is so fascinating that I'm glad to play just to see it once more because I don't know. Tin Helm, you take the race and then you flip the other cards to pick the class. That's genius. So yeah. So
It seems to be very interesting mechanically. I am looking into it, and it costs 30 euros.
yeah,
I see this
all
on
the
the.
team means games are ranged 25 to 40 euros, and I think the biggest is Judgment of the Realm Lords because it's the most expensive by both. So
It seems to be, yeah, the most interesting and the most bang for your buck game out of this. I'm quite interested in this one.
yeah, actually, I recommend to try them. Of course, if you one thing I did since it was shipping from Germany and there were mint games and they had to pick DHL. That for anyone not having to deal with DHL, just know that DHL costs a lot when they ship overseas. So so if you have to go with DHL, I said okay, I might as much try three of them. Because if I pick just one, it's not worth it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So that's it. That's the only thing. Teaming games. Actually, I look at them with different eyes. Mostly because I didn't know they existed before then. So I want to try a racing game now. So that's it. There is really a word in it. Probably if I keep being inside this niche, I will bring more eventually with time. Always three at a time anyway. Oh, yeah, there is a cube. I missed the cube. Damn. Okay, I think I ruined my game.
I'm sure
Anyway,
you'll manage to find it.
yeah, that's. I think that's all I have. So that's all we have for today. And I think that once again we have been the last Standee. You can find us on patreon.com/the last Standee or on any social media or on Discord or whenever you want. And for now, this is a goodbye from Audrey,
Bye bye.
from Alexis,
Goodbye from Belgium. Well, from Sweden.
and from me, of course. And remember that if there were an M in Standee, there will probably be for mint. Because we have finished the ideas, so probably. That's it.